Zakir Mohammed. I am a creative strategist and a brand cultivating strategist and a woman empowerment coach. I've been a professional creative for more than 10 years now. And today we are talking about what would you do if you were given the opportunity to fulfill your purpose and you what would you procrastinate? Would you be afraid? Would you say no? Would you um, be really sad about fumbling that bag? That's what we're going to talk about today. So um, feel free to save and share this video. If you can't watch it, it's going to be a deep and a good conversation. So just to give a little bit of context, I'm looking on multiple devices. This video will be shared on multiple platforms. And I'm also a cancer survivor, so I'm blind in one eye. So I'm just making it happen. So all right. So the first thing first is I am also a public speaker. I've been speaking technically for over 11 years now, maybe 15 if you add that up, because in high school, I was a part of a service organization where we were literally trained and developed in public speaking, in leadership, in communication, in service. So technically, I've been speaking for a while. I'm also a professional photographer. I've been a photographer for over 11 years. If you rounded that up to about 20 years, because my first camera I was given to me at the age of 5. But the pandemic and I guess October 2021, just also with me being one of those millennials that have always been on social media for so long, that I'm just taking a step back from social media and focusing more on what do I really want to do. So I've since June of 2021, I've been in a personal and professional development program. It's one program, but they have multiple courses, and I've literally been working on my mindset. So I'm probably going to say the moral of the story now, so that you can get that context now as you continue to listen to this story. Of had I not been continuing to work on my mindset, I would be in a much better shape. I know I'm in a good shape, and I know that I would be in a much worse shape had I not been continuing working on my mindset. So the backstory is, at the time of recording of this video, I am supposed to be on my first ever international speaking engagement um, in the country of Spain. And it was pretty much an expensive covered trip. The flight was covered, the hotel was covered, transportation was covered, and all the transportation thereafter. I was supposed to be having my first international speaking opportunity at a travel conference called TBEX, also known as Travel Blogger Exchange. It's been around also for over a decade, and it has the best of the best of those who have been making their living as travel related content creators, travel related influencers, or those who want to take that route. My role there was going to be as a speaker. I was going to speak on branding and storytelling. In addition to, they have lots of opportunity to um, provide content. It's literally a content creation week. It's conference/content creation event. So then you also be able to provide content for the area in Spain that we were going to, called Marbella. In Malaga and Marbella, and there's other places because it's not far from Seville and Almeria. So um, that was supposed to be today, June 6th, and all the way until June 12th. That's not the case. Instead, I am currently in Dallas, Texas. So Dallas, Texas was where I was supposed to fly out of. And what had happened was, so for most European countries, if you're new to traveling internationally, this may be a new concept for you. But if you are an American citizen, you can travel up to 90 days in a country without a visa. You don't have to go through that application process for a visa whatsoever. However, just utilizing the opportunity to be in the speaker and utilizing the opportunity to have a flight covered for me, I was like, okay, let's just make it the whole 90 days. But what's interesting is that the 90 days would kind of conflict into Labor Day weekend. So with any international holiday, the flight prices are stupid. When I say stupid, I mean stupid, right? So their travel agent was the one who was booking the flight, but it was my oversight to see that it kind of went over 90 days. So basically, just to give a little bit of context, I've also been an entrepreneur for over 11 years. I've dabbled and dabbled in so many things, but mainly I am known as a photographer and a marketer and a coach, a consultant, that listening ear. But I've also dabbled and dabbled in travel agency. So I kind of know how this works, but I don't know everything because I haven't traveled internationally since 2016. And I am a part of lots of Facebook groups. I'm still well connected to my fellow travelers, but there's a lot that I don't know. So I'm in touch with their travel agent, and I give a date range. I'm like, okay, I can arrive, between pick my date to arrive between June, what I said, three to five, and leave between like September 3 to 5. So I'm just like, whatever date range works, right? Because it's travel. You got to make sure that you fit a certain budget. So whatever date works. So the dates I get back, I totally overlooked it because also the way that I got it back, it wasn't like as if it's a preview of a flight. It's like all the details and not even the pertinent information included. So I'm like, what are the dates? Okay, I think that's right. I just said, they send you the email. Make sure your details are correct. Make sure your passport ID is correct. All of that was correct. But when it came to just making sure that the dates were less than 90 days, so I would not need to get a visa, I did not triple check that. So that was my oversight. But however, I didn't realize it until I'm about to check in online. You can check in online 30 hours before a flight. But I was still, my one of my um, things that I'm working on is not procrastinating, right? So um, I didn't actually check in online probably until not even 24 hours before the flight. That's when I feel like I finally settled down because, like I said, I've been heavily into the personal and professional development program that I'm in. So we have lots of homework assignments, and I was trying to get ahead so I can just enjoy my time in Spain. And so I didn't actually pack until the Saturday before. And I also, another kind of bear with me because I'm a storyteller, but I would be everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. Then I'll get to the main point. But the other aspect of it is with me being a cancer survivor currently, I am not vaccinated. That is my current choice. So as a result, I kind of needed to adjust accordingly and get, the negative test done, the rapid test completed. I didn't purchase the test until the Monday before my flight, which is this is now coming down to 3 days before I'm supposed to leave the country. So I purchased the test. However, I procrastinated with opening it, making sure that it worked, making sure that I'm able to do it and utilize it, right? And the other thing that kind of I bumped into, right, was realizing that in order to take that rapid test, you needed to have one of the newest phones that were made in it looked like the last 2 years, right? I'm one of those that until my device does not work for me, I'm holding on to my phone, to my computer and whatnot, right? So then I'm like, okay, well, apparently I got to find a way to get this test done because I don't have the phone that will allow me to take the rapid test. So that's those are two things. So one, I'm checking in online, and it says in big, almost red letters. I think it was just red. It was red somewhere, but it felt red, like "Eh, eh, eh," but it said you are not authorized to board or check in this flight. So my heart dropped. My heart sank. I'm staring at the computer. I'm literally sitting there. I'm at the hotel that my parents um were so gracious with getting, and it was so close to the airport that all I needed to do was hop on that shuttle and get on the plane. I'm sitting there in the living room of the hotel room. My heart sank, and I'm like, I'm not authorized to book the flight because I kept digging deeper, open all the little, small details of like why. And I then see it's because you need a visa. I'm like, why do I need a visa? I'm an American citizen. I don't need a visa. But I triple check the dates and I see, oh man, my flight is already confirmed to be set to come back after, no, what was it? Before Labor Day, right before Labor Day weekend. But it was 30 days after that I would be leaving for the country. Sorry, not 30, 90 days. So realizing that my flight was set to arrive on June 3rd and arrive back to the US on September 5th. It should have been the way that my mind was thinking was that okay, June 3rd and September 3rd, right? 90 days, no more than 90 days. That calculation was completely out the window. So there were two reasons why I was not able to board that flight. One, I would have needed to get a visa or adjust the flight. And then two, I would have needed to submit, my negative COVID test 24 hours before the flight again. So the option that the travel agent said when I asked them, like, can you please look for another flight for me? This was an oversight. And they were like, sure, it's gonna be $800 more than the current flight cost though. $800. That's for that? No, I'm not financially there yet. Right? So I did not have that. I did not have that saved. I didn't even have that to spend. So I was still like, okay, what else can we do? What else can we do? I mean, do I just give up? Like, what do I do? So I waited a little bit because by the time that I'm getting this information, at first, what happens is if you work with a travel agent, they will give you a preview of the flight. They'll give you a preview of the flight, right? But what's new for me is, again, my travel agent hat, I'm so used to booking flights for myself, right? Or by myself, or using, the secret little hacks to book flights. Um, so they send you a preview, and at the end, the travel agent's like, just gonna wait till the morning for because this was 9 o'clock at night, like that Monday that I'm sorry that no, this is this at this point now. This was 9 o'clock at night at the hotel the less than 24 hours before I'm supposed to fly out. So luckily he responded to the message. Um, so he said, okay, this is probably what the new flight would be. I would have arrived on Saturday instead of I was supposed to arrive Friday. So I would have arrived on Saturday instead. Um, Overnight flight. I would have gone from Dallas, Texas to I think I had a stopover in Atlanta, and then Paris, and then Spain. And so then I was able to receive that flight. Okay, cool. Looks like I'll be leaving on Saturday instead. They just got to approve it. And so, at the time that I'm waiting for them to approve it, I'm actually getting ready to check out of the hotel. It's almost checkout time. So I get the email. First it was the email, and because I was going about my business thinking, okay, everything's fine. But I get a call from the travel agent. So I'm like, ooh, this is the first time he called me. We've been emailing this entire time. And that's when he called to say, so did you see my email? Um, the organization did not approve the flight change because they say you have to pay the $800 for the oversight. I'm like, really? Now, mind you, I am a speaker, but I'm not a keynote speaker yet. So, plus it's a conference. There's 20 plus other speakers. That means 20 plus other flights that they've covered, approximately, right? So, mind you, it made the most sense of like, okay, I get it. That was beyond their budget. So here I am thinking, we're not in about to hit another recession. We're not having inflation like crazy. Thinking, okay, just find another flight. That's one way. Maybe make it one way. But no, no. Remember, I haven't traveled internationally since 2016. Flight prices are not budging. It's international, so they're definitely not going to budge less than 24 hours beforehand. And three, um, you also will have to factor in the 24-hour notice to get your test done again if you're not vaccinated. So, yeah, that's that. Um, so the other side of the story, in my personal and professional development program, we have coaches and then we have buddies, right? So we have buddies, a buddy who's also aspiring to be a coach. So I've become so close with my buddy on Zoom that when I'm telling her and my coach that I'm flying to Spain, I'm flying to Spain, I'm speaking in Spain, then they find out because if you listen to a previous episode of my podcast called "See Life Different" with Zakia, I shared that my parents and I just recently moved to Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma. So we drove down from Tulsa, Oklahoma. And so I've been on the phone with my buddy and my coach, and saying, yeah, I'm gonna drive down to Texas on this day and we're staying in this hotel. And so she's like, I would love to meet you in person. And that's exactly what she did. She came down and we finished I think we finished, almost finished. That was the other time. Should have known. I didn't finish my homework assignment, so how would I know that? But anyway, we almost finished our homework assignment, but it was so amazing to be able to meet each other in person. It was the same buddy. Remember, I was saying that in order for me to submit the test, I had to have one of the newest of the newest phones. Well, it was her phone that I was able to submit the test, the negative test, obviously, which is something to celebrate. Um, Great. And then the next thing, the way that she came through was, I'm like, okay, well, now what? Because if I wasn't at first, I'm thinking, okay, we're checking out of the hotel on what is it, Thursday morning. I need some place to be until I'm set to leave Saturday. This is operating off of the understanding that, oh, that Saturday flight preview that he sent me was gonna get approved, right? So I was like, hey, can I stay with you for like 2 days? Yeah, sure, no problem. So as I'm arriving to her house, okay, remember, by the time it's time to check out, I get the call from the travel agent. He's like, I'm available until like 5 p.m. today. It's 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm available until like 5 p.m. today. If you're able to, get the money, we can make this happen. Again, I don't, how am I going to get, I'm the one who's driving my parents' car to my buddy's house. And I'm like, how am I going to get the $800? Why didn't I save the $800? Something, I will overthink in my mind, like, what about this $800? So it took a couple of days, and it took a bit more of stepping outside of my own comfort zone, right? So coming from someone who um, was raised independently, who was raised, um, I guess I could say I had a pretty good childhood. Things were well taken care of. My medical needs were taken care of. My health needs were taken care of. So much so that by the time I became an adult, um, I was taking care of stuff. So here I am, still kind of I'm still in that season of truly getting to be the woman that I'm supposed to be. So here I am just like, okay, I'm in this season of being okay with asking for help, being okay with accepting help, and being okay with owning up with my financial mistakes. So I say all this to say, uh, you will be having seasons where it's like my favorite Eminem song by the rapper Eminem. Like if you had one shot, one opportunity to see everything you've ever wanted in one moment. So this would truly the answer. Would you capture it or would you let it slip? So um I guess I could say I didn't exactly let it slip because I did everything else that I needed to do except for triple check the oversight of flight days. That was it. That was the only thing. But also, what I needed to do is get my financial ish in order, right? It's something that, had needed to be worked on since the pandemic. I work a little bit, I save a little bit. I work a little bit, I save a little bit, you know? But that's what happens when you kind of come from, when you don't come from money, if I could say that, right? If you don't come from money, it's different. It's a different situation, right? So, I'm here. Actually, I'm here in Dallas, Texas. I'm fast forwarding a little bit. So, what did you decide? What did you do? I'm here in Dallas, Texas. My buddy and I are going to complete our program together. We finish in September. So, the 90 days I would have spent in a country worrying about my next paycheck, I'm actually going to be in a city where um, I have unfinished business. I came to Dallas. Well, I left Dallas, Texas, June 2021, I'm back in Dallas, Texas, June 2022, and that's what my summer is going to be. And had I not been, I think I'll say this again, of had I not been in the professional and personal development program, yeah, you would not hear from me. I would fall off the face of the earth. I would probably be crying for days. Okay. But I realized that there was a silver lining in me meeting my buddy, getting into this program. I started this program February 2022. So there's silver lining in everything. So although I may not be in Spain right now, the good thing is that I was able to really honor my word and keep my word with the organization and try again. They have 4 like conferences a year, and I will be trying again for their next conference, which is going to be in the country of Thailand. Yeah, it's intentional like that. They have a couple in the US, they have a couple in one of every continent. Not in Africa yet. Hopefully that'll be soon. But that's that. I'm here in Dallas, Texas, and for the summer, I am continuing to work on me. But while I'm working on me, everything that I've learned is coming right back to you. Right? So everything that I'm learning as for to be a better coach, a better leader, a better woman, is going to reflect in the value of the work that I do. As a consultant, as a creative, as a podcaster, as an author, I have all these hats, but you know, really have to go where there's a quote. My buddy and I were watching the TV show My Next Guest Needs No Introduction with David Letterman, and it was the Will Smith episode. Yes, you can take what you want from that, but they specifically said it was recorded before the Oscar award ceremony. But Will Smith shared a quote that stuck with me that said, it was by Rumi, the poet, and it said, light your own life on fire. Seek those who fan your flames. So, to explain that quote just a little bit, basically seek those who continue to shine your light. Seek those who do not dim your light. Seek those who do not blow out your candle. Seek those who don't seek those, sorry. Don't seek those who dim your light. Don't seek those who blow out your candle. Don't seek those who will put your fire out. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on for the next 90 days. And if you are a creative who has a vision, who has constraints, who if you would hear my story and you said to yourself, I don't know what I would do. I would probably do something, something, something other than what I did. This message is for you. This video is for you. And if you see fit for yourself, I'm ready to work with you. I'm ready to learn what it is that makes you you and help you unlearn and rediscover your purpose. Because in order for this world to really be more positive and loving, we need to be operating in your purpose. All right. So that wraps that up. Thank you for watching if you made it this far. Thank you for listening if you made it this far. And I will see you around. But in the meantime, feel free to check out my podcast, See Life Different with Zakira, available everywhere. And you can purchase my memoir, Seeing Life Through Different Lens. It's written by my mom and I about what life has been like overcoming adversity of any kind, including cancer, and hard of hearing and autoimmune. And last but not least, I'm willing to be your coach, your mentor, your accountability partner for getting over that hump to discover your purpose. So you can also visit calendly.com/focused with a PHOCUSED Media Group, and choose from one of the various consultations options that are there. Whether you want the like strategy session or a coaching session Um, and I think that's mainly what I'm offering right now. You know, trying not to do a million things at once, but strategy session, coaching session, for mindset or for business. Thank you so much for watching.